President William Ruto will today chair an emergency East African Community meeting to address the escalating crisis in the Democratic Republic of Congo, a day after rebels raided, destroyed and vandalized the Kenyan embassy in DRC. Both DRC President Felix Tshisekedi and Rwandan President Paul Kagame are expected in the crucial meeting as calls for de-escalation intensifies. Fighting is on in various parts of the Goma region, with intense exchanges of fire resuming this morning. With internet services cut, radio stations not broadcasting, and phone connections intermittent, the only news is by word of mouth as thousands of civilians continue to flee the area. Ruto revealed that he had spoken with the two leaders to defuse the situation and urged the African Union to take a more active role. Ruto described the situation in DRC as very complicated and said it could be solved diplomatically, but he has previously been criticized by President Tshisekedi, who accused him of interfering in Congo's internal affairs.
Pearl Newsbeat.
Health Cabinet Secretary Deborah Mulongo Barasa has directed state departments within the Ministry of Health to assess the financial and human resource implications of the United States recent aid suspension. Addressing the media, Barasa noted that it will guide the government in devising effective interventions. She expressed optimism that a resolution will be reached despite the challenges posed by the funding freeze.
With regards to U.S. government and what was given as an executive order. So as the Ministry of Health, I have tasked the various state departments, the various programs and directors that have been involved or that will be affected by this, so that we can be able to map out and look at the impact in matters finances, in matters human resource, etc. And with this, we'll come up with a concrete way forward in terms of intervention, of which we'll be able to share.
Kenya, a recipient of substantial U.S. aid in the health sector, now faces potential disruptions in various health initiatives. This aid cut follows an executive order by U.S. President Donald Trump shortly after his swearing in. The directive, which mandates a hold on all foreign aid and a review of existing programs, has continued to spark concern among countries relying on U.S. support.
Pearl Newsbeat.
Sarah Wairimu has moved to the High Court seeking to hold her impending prosecution over the murder of her husband, Top Cohen. Wairimu, who is being held at the Langata Women Prison, is accusing the Director of Public Prosecution, Renzo Nigonga, of abusing his prosecutorial powers by relying on compromised evidence to charge her in connection with the 2019 murder. In an application filed before the Milimani Court, she said on December 6, 2022, the DPP made a null prosecute decision not to pursue the charge, which led her to being ultimately discharged. Wairimu was initially arrested and charged with the brutal murder of Cohen. Then DPP Nordin Haji later withdrew the charges, citing insufficient evidence. However, the state now says it has new evidence that can sustain a murder charge against Wairimu and wants her to plead afresh to charges of murder. But Wairimu says the decision to discharge her was necessitated by serious integrity issues in the whole process of investigations.
Pearl Newsbeat.
And across the borders, thousands of people gathered to celebrate 1 year since Burkina Faso's withdrawal from ECOWAS in Ouagadougou and across the country. The official launching of the Alliance of Sahel States was marked in the capital by a meeting attended by Prime Minister Jean Emmanuel and other personalities. On January 28th last year, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger announced their definitive departure from ECOWAS. This was followed by creation of an AES confederation on July 6th last year. A ceremony to raise the colors of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger has been organized at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Regional Cooperation and Burkina Bay abroad.
Pearl Radio, the home of fresh and classic hits.